Okay, this is Johnny with Gift House in Dothan, Alabama. I'm back again. This time we're going to make a woodland wreath. These are my elements here. I've got my grapevine wreath. I've picked out my ribbon, kind of woodsy, rustic looking. A little bit of glitter, but not too much because we're kind of staying with the rustic look here. This is a deer. I actually have a laser and I can cut these out, but you can find something at Hobby Lobby or Michael's that's comparable. And of course I've painted it. And I know it's red, but when you see it on the wreath, you'll see why. It was really pretty. And then I have these two picks that I got. And you know, a lot of times you don't have to spend the time to pick out all of the greenery. Sometimes you just buy a pick that's perfect just like it is. And the concept here is I'm gonna put the picks down here like this. My deer's gonna be back here in my, kind of like he's in the woods looking out. And then my bow's gonna be in the top right-hand corner, and it's gonna be a smaller bow this time because I don't wanna cover up my deer because the deer is really the focal point of this one. So let's get started. We'll move this out of the way. These. Now the first thing I like to do is decide how I'm gonna position everything on the wreath. Well, this wreath is supposed to be round, but it really is a little bit oval. And see, it's still got some leaves and stuff in it. I kind of like that because we are going for the woodsy look here. But what I'm gonna do is, I believe that this is gonna be the top right here. I'm going to put a hanger on it, and I like to use this heavier gauge wire here that I got from Lowe's. And I just cut me a piece off. Use these heavy duty snips here. Cut me a piece off like this. Bend it about in half like that. And I take these and I bend them up like this, trying to keep it as even as possible. See, what I've got here is basically a hook. And I take it and I put it in my wreath, just like this. Now, I don't worry too much about whether it shows or not. Like I said, the focal point in this one's gonna be the deer. And I take my needle nose pliers, I go in here, and I find that piece that is in here, sometimes harder than others. Then I bend it through, bring it around, and pull it out. Well, there's no rhyme or reason to this. You just grab it and pull it out best you can. I'll pull it back through the wreath because what we're going to do is twist it around so that it actually locks it in. Sometimes it's easier than others. Okay, so I've got them. So see, I've got this pulled out like this. Just gonna pull it around here. Pull it around here. Find this one. Pull it around here, and I just twist it back in to itself. And I believe I'm gonna snip this one a little bit more because it's a little long. Do that. Come right here and grab this. Grab this. Pull it back into itself so it don't get on there. So anyway, so there is my hanger right there. It'll hang just like this. You can push it out, whatever. Hang just like that for when I'm working on it. All right. Now, what I need to do is, this one's going to be fairly easy. I'm going to take my greenery picks right here, and I'm just going to stick them in here where I want them. Kind of like that. And once again, don't be too concerned about the mechanics here because I'm gonna I'm gonna cover the middle up. You'll see what I'll do with that. I don't have it pulled out yet, but all right. Now I like to use a lot of glue when I'm doing these because they're outside and a lot of the times and the wind will blow, so you don't want them coming off. But I'm gonna try to get this close to the middle as I possibly can. And like I said, don't worry too much about being able to see it. And actually what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take a zip tie. I'm gonna come in here, come in behind it, and I'm gonna zip tie it to the wreath because we don't want it coming off or moving around, that kind of thing. Don't worry about being able to see the zip tie either because what I got some moss that I can use to fix that. All right, take this right here, bring the zip tie around it. Zip tie this baby off in here. Okay. Take this and all right, so that's one side. This other side here. You can't see me, I'm a little bit out of the camera. But anyway, put my glue on it. Bring it down in here, just like I did this one. Force it in there, like that. And I'm gonna take another zip tie. Come around over here and zip tie this one. We don't want it sticking out and moving around. All the things. It's easy. I'll make this easy on myself. Just come right around these big. Okay, so you can see this gives me a very pretty wreath base for the bottom. 2 picks, that's all it took. Just glue them in and zip tie them in. I'm going to take my clips, come down here and just clip these off. Easier said than done, but I can do it. All right, so those are clipped off. What I'm gonna do here now, I have my deer. He's gonna sit up in here just like this. See how pretty that is? It's gonna sit in there just like that. And what I'm gonna do with him is I'm basically just gonna glue him in. You know what, I can actually zip tie him in also. Now I'm putting him off center because I want my bow to go right up here to offset what I'm doing here. Okay. So let's see if I can't zip tie him in. Now this is gonna be a little bit cumbersome, but you know, sometimes you just need to see what we're doing here. So I can turn it around here. I've got room right here that I can zip tie him. And I know this is in the back. I don't like mechanics showing too much, so I will fix that too. I'll show you how. I got something that works for that. Okay, so I just zip tied his leg in there. And then I'm gonna come around and look at him from the front, see how I like him from the front. Okay, that's fine, that looks good. And then I'm gonna take, don't worry about mashing this stuff, you can plop it back out. But I'm gonna take another zip tie and get his front legs. And I can see right down in here, you can see right down in there where I can get his front legs zip tied in. Get all up in here with it, because we don't want our deer falling off, that's for sure. Pull him in. Check him before we get him too tight in there, make sure that's right where we want him. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, so we're gonna clip this off. All right, so we've got our greenery on, we've got our deer in there, sitting up in here, looking out of our greenery. Okay, and then, so what I'm gonna do down here, I actually have some other picks, so let me grab a couple of those real quick. So see, these picks are very similar to what I'm using on there anyway. And everything doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you see how I can stick this right down here in the bottom? Like this, like this. There, fill that right up. Gonna take a little off. Make sure my tags are off. Come down here, get my glue. Remember I told you I like to glue this stuff in there pretty good, because we don't want it falling out when it gets home with our customer. Just take it, put it right in here. See how pretty that is? Just push right in there, fill that gap. And then I see right here I need something. I got this other one, which will fit right down in here. Actually gonna go see if I can find another one of those, because that's the prettiest. Yep, I've got another one right here. Nice. Okay, glue it. Get it all up in there. Careful with this hot glue, because it will get you in a heartbeat. Take it and just glue it up in there. Glue it up in there. Okay, there we go. And you know, we'll just see, hold on a second. Thinking I wouldn't hate having a little something coming up right up here where you can see. We'll see. All right, so, but from a distance, it looks fine. So let's make our bow. Bodabra. See, this Bodabra has a slit right here where I'm gonna put this pipe cleaner down in. This is what I'm gonna use to tie the bow off with. And so I've got my ribbons here. Got this 2.5 inch with these berries on it. So that's gonna be my base. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do something called a funky bow. Now I'm gonna have streamers because I want my bow to actually sit right here. So, and by funky bow, what I mean is I'm only gonna have a couple of loops of each one, and I'm only gonna have about a 4 inch streamer, but it's not gonna really be like a streamer that hangs down. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'll put it in here and I'll twist it. I'm gonna keep my loops to about 4 inches also. Like I said, I don't want a huge bow on this. Twist it because it has a right side and a wrong side. You always want the right side up. Okay, then I'm gonna do this one. You see, it's about the same size. Now I'm going to twist this one because this one's going to be about a 4 inch streamer up this way. Okay, so this comes, so that it comes kind of like makes an X. The loops make an X, and the two tiny streamers make an X. Make sure your loops are about the same. They are. All right, so the next ribbon I'm going to come in with is this pretty plaid right here. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it. Let's do that. Do the same thing. I'm gonna come down the opposite way. About a 4 to 6 inch streamer. I'll take this loop up here. The loop's gonna be the same size. This loop. Twist it. Once again, it has a right side and wrong side. Come back around, but I'm not twisting it this time because this is gonna be my streamer. Okay, you gotta make sure your loop's about the same size. It's a little bigger. Pull it down and do this. Now, I can always cut these streamers off if they're too long once I fluff my bow out. So we'll see. But you see, okay, another X, but I've got my loop pretty much where that streamer is. Got this streamer pretty much where this loop is, and same thing on the other side. Now, I'm not too concerned about it at this point, because what I can do is once I tie it off, then this is all wired ribbon, so I can make these loops and streamers pretty much go where I want them to go. All right, so let's bring this pretty holly ribbon in. You see, I'm kind of staying with neutral backgrounds because I'm going for the woodsy look here. So let's do this one. Okay, I'm gonna have my streamer coming down here. And I'm gonna take this one in a little bit and make the loops a little smaller. Come in just a tad. Twist it. Twist it. This one I'm not gonna twist because I'm gonna have a streamer on the other side. All right, then I've got that. So, I mean, I did twist it, but I'm not going to. So let's untwist it. Okay, and then, so there's that. And you know what? I think I'm gonna bring this back in to the front of it. And I'm just gonna do one, I think I'm just gonna do one loop as my center to it. Just do a small loop. See what I'm doing? A small loop here. Okay. All right, so that's my bow. So let's take it, bring it up. that off. Okay. Well, this may be enough to tie it to our wreath. We'll see. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm going to take this. This is twisted. Okay, so I'm going to take that and turn it around. So as you can see, it's a small bow, but we don't want to cover up our deer, so we got to keep it small. And you'll see when I get it on there and cut these things, how it kind of stands up. But anyway, so basically there's my bow. I'll get it on the wreath, and I'm gonna fluff it out like I want it. Get all the pieces where I want them to go, and then we'll pretty much be done with this. I'll look at it again and see if we need to add anything, but I don't think we're gonna need to. That would really be pretty good. Anyway, we're going up here with it. All right, I can see this is not gonna be enough. So that's not a big deal. So what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna take another one. Get these off. Okay. Take another one. Wrap it through here like this. That's what I'm doing. Just wrapping it through that loop there. Making sure I'm getting it in the middle, right here where it is. And then this is the one I'm going to use to attach it. Should be enough. All right, so let's get it on here. Off in the back, pull it tight, right off the back. All right, now let's get everything where we want it. So here's the deal. Now, watch what happens when I dovetail these things. I just kind of perks it up. Okay. Do this one. All right, So there's a pretty simple woodland wreath, painted deer. Very easy to make, didn't take long. I think I might need one more pick right here, maybe. Maybe a pine cone. Or how about that pine cone? Kind of like that. Let's use it. All right, I'm gonna need to probably put a pick on that because see, this is very thin. So let me find my pick machine. So you see I've added a floral pick on that, but that's just so I can just stick it, I can put some glue on it, stick it right down in here, and it will be, it'll have something thick enough to hold it. Just like trying to get it situated where I want it. Stick it down in there and give it a shot, see what happens. Okay, here it is. Very simple, easy to do wreath. Very pretty woodland wreath right there. Just a couple of picks, cute little bow, and that's ready to hang on your door. Now, let me show you this. Remember I told you I had a secret, which is really no secret, but maybe for some folks. So this is what I use to cover up the mechanics in the back, which is all it is moss. But you'll see, because if you turn this thing over, you can see you got some zip ties here and all. But if we put this moss in there, it covers up all those mechanics and just kind of gives it more of a finished look. And what I do is, this stuff catches on everything. I just put some glue in there. Glue right up, just glue it all up in here. Then I take my moss, stick it on there. All right. Very easy to do. Doesn't have to be pretty, but it was very effective for covering up the mechanics on the back of the wreath. And just give it, like I said, more of a finished look. Doesn't need much to hold it on there, just push it down. Go ahead and cut this off. All right. Put some more in here. Glue in here all over everything. I just want it to catch, so it don't fall off. Even though it's on the back, we still don't want it falling off. Take it, put it in here like this. And also it'll help kind of protect your door too. Okay. So, the back doesn't look as pretty as the front, of course, but it still looks finished. And it covers up the mechanics. And whether anybody else cares or not, I do. So when I send this out to a customer, I want to make sure that I feel good about it. Right, and that's pretty much it right there. All right, see you next time.